What's going on YouTube? It's your boy DMD, and today I'm coming at you guys with my Altergeist Deck Profile for the October 2020 format. This is actually, I only think, the second time I've had an Altergeist Deck Profile on the channel. This deck is really fun. It's probably not the most competitive right now because all of the top decks are just a little bit too good for Altergeist to compete with going second, especially decks like Eldritch, but this is probably the most competitive build that I think is possible right now. I really love trap decks, so playing this deck just seemed like a no-brainer. But anyway, guys, I guess we could go ahead and get right into the profile. Also, real quick, before we do, be sure to like this video and comment if you wish. Also, subscribe to my channel if you have not already. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the list. Alright, so starting off, we've got the obligatory triple copies of Altergeist Multifaker. This card being at 3 versus being at 1 is such a massive difference. This being at 3 again makes this deck probably somewhat competitive. I would say it's in the rogue category, but only having one multi-faker, meaning you have to recycle it and play multiple manifestation, it's just really good to have this card back at 3 again, just because it enables you to extend and go into plays with Hextia and all that. We've got then 3 copies of our Problem Solver, Meluseek. This card just being able to, in the damage step, just send anything to grave and just being able to attack directly means this card's like really good when it goes to time in like game 3. 3 copies of Marinara Sauce, as my old buddy Marcus used to call it, Marionetter. This card is really good because, I mean, it just sets protocol and gets you other sorts of traps, so it's really good. 2 copies of Silk. I think this is pretty much standard to summon off of Faker. Drawing this card is big sad. 1 Conquery to stop attacks and negate something on the field. For hand traps, I'm playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. This is still like the most generic hand trap, so I'm playing 3 Ash. 3 copies of Gamma and the 1 obligatory driver. I've considered playing Ghost Ogre, but I feel like Gamma has a lot of significance in the format right now. Just being able to negate Needle Fiber, being able to negate Link Cross, and all these other, negating Alistair, negating all these really strong normal summons is really, really powerful, especially, you know, of course, going second. You know you are playing a trap deck, so being able to Gamma somebody and stop their entire line of play, potentially, especially against like Salamangrates or something, is really, really strong. So 3 Gamma for sure. Moving on to the spells, the only spell we play is Triple Pot of Extravagance. This card getting reprinted is really going to make this deck a lot more affordable, but Infinite Impermanence is still kind of up there. I think these are like, last time I checked, these were like 15s for the Ultra, but I could be wrong. They probably have spiked since then. Anyway, on to the multiple traps we play. 1 Manifestation, 2 Protocol, and 3 Personal Spoofing. The former of these 2, Manifestation and Protocol, are quasi-searchable, well, I mean settable off of Marionetter. And then Personal Spoofing, you just want to play 3 so you can see it, because seeing it means another way to multi-faker. 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, which gets you to your, 2-card combo, I guess you could call it. With this and Faker, you get to play on your opponent's turn. For the non-Altergeist traps and non-Imperm traps, we've got triple copies of Lost Wind, triple copies of Solemn Strike, and triple copies of Crackdown. These are not the best going second, of course. They are traps, but the thing about these is that Lost Wind and Crackdown are really good for battle protection, and then Strike is just generally a good trap card to stop combo decks and to crack established negates. So that's why I opted to play this lineup. But at any rate, that's it for the main deck. As you could probably imagine, for the extra deck, we're just playing a bunch of extra av targets. So 1, 2, 3 Link Karibo, 1, 2, 3 Hextia, 3 copies of Last Warrior from Another Planet for waking the dragons in the sideboard, 3 copies of Ultimate Falcon for the same reason. I am playing Waking the Dragons on the side, basically because the fact that Harpy's Feather Duster is back in the format means you have to play some sort of answer to Harpy's Feather Duster, or else you're just going to get blown out. So playing Waking the Dragons is just like an auto win. I was playing online against somebody, and they Harpy's Feather Dustered me, and I had double Waking the Dragon set, and I summoned Ultimate Falcon and Last Warrior, and they basically couldn't out it, and I just won from there. For generic links that you can kind of make, 1 Unicorn, 1 Boral Load, and 1 Boral Sword, just to round out the extra deck. These last 3 can be kind of whatever you want, but I just played these because Boral Sword helps you kind of push for damage, because one thing this deck cannot do is put damage on board. Borolo just helps you take stuff that you can't out, aka Dragoon. Like, this deck has like no out to Dragoon, and Nightmare Unicorn to shuffle stuff back. Moving on to the side deck, speaking of Dragoon, one thing that I know for sure is that the best way to out Dragoon is by siding Kaijus. Doggeron, Gameciel, and Jizukiru are great ways to out them, or great ways to out Dragoon. I really like these because it does just that. It outs Dragoon, and you really need a way to out it, because main deck you have like no out whatsoever. For the combo decks, we play 3 Sphere Mode. This could be Dark Ruler no more, but I feel like Sphere Mode right now is actually a really good card to use. If you have Forbidden Droplets, you could play those, but I don't have any. Yeah, Sphere Mode typically, against the combo decks, it gets the job done, and you don't care about your normal summon like at all, so you could easily just play 3 Sphere Mode and use that as your normal summon. 3 copies of Evenly Matched. This is for back row or whatever control decks like Eldritch that you play against, or, you know, the random zoo matchup. The aforementioned 2 copies of Waking the Dragons. I was tempted to play Trap Trick to be able to set this from the deck in case my opponent like activated Feather Duster against me, but I feel like Trap Trick is way too slow now, so in the given format, I didn't play Trap Trick to search this. You can if you want to, but I just felt that, number 1, I wasn't playing enough normal traps to justify Trap Trick, and number 2, I didn't have the room. Honestly, I just play the 3 Waking the Dragon, or the 2 Waking the Dragons. If my opponent hits it, they hit it, and if they don't, they don't. But 3 Solemn Judgment, I feel like this is kind of obligatory. Any back row deck you play, you have to absolutely have an out to, again, Feather Duster, Evenly, Twin, you know, and those type of cards. So, yeah, 3 Judgment for sure. And then last but not least, the 1 copy of Imperial Order. Secret Village I felt like was too much of a commitment to play over Imperial, just because like it can kind of be dead. Like if you don't draw any of your Altergeist monsters, which can happen sometimes, Secret Village is just kind of dead, and you'd rather have a card in your hand that does something versus something that doesn't. And this is just an unconditional like anti-spell card. So, yeah, pretty much just the 1 Imperial Order. I thought that was just a pretty simple, you know, out to a lot of spell-heavy decks, like Dragma anything, or Invoked anything, or Shadal anything. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions at all about the deck, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Again, this is kind of the first draft. I'm sure it will change at some point. You know, I go through and test and look up, you know, how the meta is changing every day. So I kind of want to have the best build, but this is kind of what I came up with for now. But if you guys do have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below. It's me, it's that DMD, and your boy is in fact out. Peace out, guys.
Oh, my heartbeat, my silent drum, that's kicking me till I'm numb. I wanna feel the love that